Okay.
So here we go. Hi folks, I'm here at the house of the legend that is Dave Courtney, and I've got your questions here. These are the questions that you asked the subscribers of this channel, so Dave has agreed to answer some, I think. Is that right, Dave?
I've agreed to do anything you tell me to, sir.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, I've known Dave for a very long time. So am I allowed to ask this thing? Because I think before we ask any questions, people might want to know what's this stuff happening in Gloucestershire. Are you allowed to talk about that?
I think I'm allowed to tell you exactly what's happened. I've been alleged to have gone to a man's house where I was invited in. A change of words happened and he was left injured. And I'm being accused of grievous bodily harm for that and aggravated burglary, which means I was trespassing, but I wasn't because he did invite me in. But
So will you be all right with that?
I'm pretty sure I'm going to be all right with it. I don't feel as if I've actually done anything wrong. I went there on his invitation, and an argument has broke out, which has come off seconding. So,
But because you've had so many not guilties over the years,
I've
haven't you?
had more than my fair share of not guilties. I can't actually put that down to being the cleverest criminal in the world. What I can actually put it down to is in the world then, you didn't have a common enemy, and I could get away with calling up a load of witnesses because the first rule in the law book is if there's an element of doubt, and even if a copper saw you himself, you could put up 20 witnesses, a sergeant major, his wife, a fireman, his wife, 10 policemen, there were, right? That's an element of doubt. But you can no longer do that because the internet, in its almighty wisdom, has done something called Facebook. And every witness you go to pull up and tell the police is your witness. You know, you could do it a million times in a car, couldn't you? If no one saw it, you can say you saw that, and you got paid out now. Everyone you've called up as a witness is a friend on your fucking Facebook, ain't it? So they'll say, well, you can't use that one, can't use that one. Well, you haven't got any witnesses. This is too much of a coincidence that every fucking witness you have just happened to be a friend on his Facebook. So I'm afraid I can't get away with as many as I used to. It's all down to the brain, man.
The brain. So these are the questions from subscribers. You will see we've got.
Go on, subscribers, give it to me.
Dan West. This is Dan West. He said, "Was there any situation where you thought you were over your head, where it was like a really difficult situation?"
There's been a few, but being the theatrical, cocky, cheeky little need to show off I am, they were the situations that brought me to the forefront of, right, this is my scene. Yeah, and it dragged out things in me where, under normal circumstances, by my own choice, that might not have arisen had I been a little bit of time around it to manipulate it, not round to getting so scary, but it was plonked on me, i.e. the time of Seymour, yeah?
Yes, I remember that, yeah.
Shot, right? And I took shots, came at me, and I turned round and I was face to face with my wife, and I said, I've got to go and get him and and she went, yeah, you have, mate, I love you. And I've done my thing. And I couldn't have done it without her saying that. I'll get the praise for it. Only from him, because it's not my story, is it? Every time I say that story, I feel like I'm trying to go get a load of me. But yeah, there's been a few times where I've genuinely thought, oh wow, this really could be it. But they are the ones that, because I'm lucky enough to have been void of panic through my life. I've had every other emotion, but I genuinely don't think I've ever experienced panic, I don't think. And where that might actually occur, I then get my rushes of, here we go, Davey, come on, somebody stop me, right? And they're the ones everyone talks about. So I might owe them that.
So these questions are all random, so they don't follow on. Yeah. Chris Manns, he wants to ask you about the movie you made in Mexico with a wrestler. Was it Vampiro?
Vampiro, yeah.
Yeah, and somebody who was in Cobra Kai, Martin Cove. It was called Dead Sleep Easy. Is that right?
Martin Cove is the bad guy in Karate Kid. He was a bit of a legend when I was a young man. And Vampiro, for anyone of my age, was on par with all of the biggest American WWF stars. And Chris, the man who's rung there, I haven't seen him for a bit. Hello, Chrissy, love you. He's a big giant of a man himself. Literally, when my daughter first met that man, she went, "Are you a giant?" That's the truth, you know. He's a giant. But he did actually introduce me to Vampiro. He paid for me to go to Mexico, and we made a film called The Dead Sleep Easy, which was quite an experience for me. It opened my eyes to real, genuine what a naughty man is, living in the outbacks of Mexico. It weren't like fucking Cancun, where everyone was lovely and sparkling and shiny and nice. This was Mexico, where people are dying a lot on a daily basis, and men are walking around with, you know, bits and pieces hanging out in their back pocket, and, you know, every policeman's on the take. This is a scary old place. Well, one of the only places in my life that after 2 nights of going out on the town for 6 weeks, I did take their advice and stay in the hotel.
You stayed in?
Why don't you shut your mouth? I'm saying I was frightened now. I could have gone out if I wanted to.
Of
I had
course.
everything I wanted in there. Yeah, I had an 18-year-old stunning-looking lady, Vampiros hang around with, all the stars, being treated like a movie star in another country. I genuinely thought at the time I was on my way, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. Right.
Sorry.
Now, this is
Love
from...
you for that one, Chris.
That's all right.
Remember that.
This one is, I'm pronouncing this correctly, Shum Rise Khan. He says he's looking at 2 years in prison for GBH and was wondering if Dave could give him some advice to ride it out better.
The only bit of advice I'll give anyone who's going to go and do a bit of bird is before you go in, make sure your missus knows that you are sorry. Because when you go in there, it's not you that does the bird, it's her. Right? You think you're the poor or done by little melt for getting caught in the cell, yeah? But she's the bird just having to find the pound notes, look after the kid, get back and forth to see you, do all the things, put up with you, getting jealous, volleying her off every night on the fucking prison phone. There's my bit of advice for you, it just flew out at the end. Talk to her manners when you're in there and let her know that you are sorry before you go, because she's the one that's got to put up with it. And you put up with your mouth, you control that in there, because well, one day you might go a little bit too far and she goes, fuck it, block him. And you can't mend that argument for another year and a half. So before she gets to that stage, don't do it. That's a bit of advice.
Good advice there. Now, moving on. Now, this is quite funny. I was actually there at this party. Dave has a lot of parties here. Can you ask Dave how Rick Waller ended up at your Camelot party, and how much did he eat? No offence, he says.
There was no offence taken by me that Rick Waller ate everything that moved. Yeah? He wasn't actually trying to shag anything. He just ate everything that anyone went past and said, do you want to... He went, yeah, with both hands, and, you know, I've never seen anyone put that many people volivons in his mouth at one stage without chewing them and swallow them and still get up and sing. But I wrote a book at the time, and I had a book signing here called Heroes and Villains, and believe me, everyone wasn't in attendance here were heroes and villains. And I was the very first person to actually have my house Big Brothered up. And everyone was being filmed when they came in, just like Big Brother, and I had someone living here doing all the zooming in and out. And I was getting some days 65,000 a day, 80,000 that night and all that, and you could see how many you're getting. What we didn't know is we was being robbed, because you only got paid annually, for quarterly like that. So we thought we was hundreds of thousands of pounds up, and someone had been hacking us. You know, when you put your card in, you've got 2 seconds to get to Barclays. In that 2 seconds, I don't know who could do that, but someone was clever enough to nickel the money out and send it to a revolving bank account in the Cayman Islands.
So those parties were legendary, weren't they?
Yeah, they were stunning parties.
Yeah, I mean,
and
all
everyone
the
came to them. I'm sorry, I veered off then.
Yeah.
But there was Freddie Foreman, there was Charlie Richardson, there was Howard Marks, there was Cass Pennant, there was Colton Leach, there was Joe
Egan.
There was everyone there.
Yeah.
Absolutely everyone. Chris Tarrant's wife. There was
loads, weren't there? All the faces.
Everyone was there. It was quite an event. The helicopters was out. Everyone
Absolutely.
was there. They blocked off either end of the road. The car was red carpeted. The whole road was red carpeted.
Pool parties going on.
It was quite a stunning event. There was pool parties out there. There was famous Premier Division footballers, very Premier Division boxers. It was frolicking.
Yes, frolicking.
Some of them naked in my jacuzzi.
And I believe that you went in and joined them, if I remember correctly.
There was no need for you to bring that up, was there? There was no need for you to bring it. I'm trying to be a gangster.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Anyway, someone
Yeah.
Must have done or give me something, and I ended up naked.
Yeah.
In the jacuzzi, and I'm sorry about
There was
that.
a mistake.
I'm sorry to the children for that.
Yeah. Now, going on about Camelot Castle, Tony wants to know why your home is called Camelot Castle.
For no other reason than I'm a romantic, my friend. You forget the gangster thing. I didn't mean that earlier. I'm a romantic. And when I first got this home, all that be big, I had a very blank screen. It was empty. And I built myself a castle, and I called it Camelot, and I built my army around me, and I look at them all as, you know, you pay very dearly for becoming a friend of Dave Courtney, and I think I genuinely love them also. They were my knights in shining armour.
You had that big mural at the side of the house.
Guinevere was a little bit off colour, but I loved her all the same. Yeah. She was, you know, without Jennifer, that was 51% of me, and I've got no shame in that whatsoever in going, I thank you, and I thank you, my babe. There's the sword in the stone, the interior's been very cameloted, and I'm afraid that puts me down as King Arthur. Yeah?
Absolutely.
So, I like romance, I like the romance of it. That's all.
So Daniel Laser Deering has said, can you ask Dave if I can have a rematch at pool? He beat me one-handed at Camelot Castle, and has he lost his sense of smell after having his nose bitten off?
I haven't lost my sense of smell after having my nose bitten off, and I think after 30 odd years, it's actually healed up it's very good. Yes, you can have a rematch whenever you want to go and give me a shout. Come and tell me I'm even better now. Right. Most of it my fault. Every time I went to prison, I seem to be doing a lot of that with one hand, and I got good at one-handed pool. I've had a lot of challenges here, and a lot of people can tell you I think I'm still winning more than I lost.
Fantastic. Now, DMD. Now, I was around when this happened. Goes back.
You seem to be around a lot. You're a bit like a buck. You know? You seem to be around a lot.
Dave doesn't know I actually live here. You've got no idea. I'm in the attic somewhere, down in the dungeon, actually. He's asking, what was the story of the beef between Dave and Gaffer? Because that was a really popular clip on YouTube, wasn't it?
Yeah, listen, me and Gaffer just don't really get on. We don't really see eye to eye. He was clambering for some kind of fame as he was driving Ian Wadley around, and the very first time I met the man, he turned up at the Ministry of Sound and pushed in and went, when I put my hand out, he said, I don't cure and I don't pay. I said, why is that? He said, I'm Dave Courtney's right hand man. I did know that in 3 seconds' time, he wasn't going to be my friend. And after that, that was done, and our friendship started. And for the last thousands of years, every time he had the opportunity to go, Courtney, he has. And I had an audience with in his hometown at the Circus Tavern, and he wrote a book, and it only sold about 24 copies or something, so they gave him it all back and no money. He's been giving it away ever since. I think he spent nearly 100 pages slagging me off in it. I can assure you I haven't spent one line on mentioning him in my book. I'm talking about me. So that's really the long term. I'm not hating Gaffer. Gaffer's hating me. He's one of them people that every time you saw someone going, hello Dave, hello Dave, hello Dave, he just hated me more. I wasn't doing anything horrible. I don't hate his guts, I mean, I like his peers. Yeah. And luckily we haven't sort of bumped into each other.
Fantastic. Now, I don't even know if I can ask this question. Adam Mortlock, who I know you, Adam, he said, I'm taking my life in my hands with this one. Has he ever shagged a copper?
Yes.
Is the answer to that. You don't have to go further, Dave.
No, I have. And that gentleman there happens to have been there at the time.
True.
Say it then. Say it. It's true. He filmed it. And I'm sorry about that. With full uniform and everything. And I think any man with a cock would have if they could. And I'm really sorry if that's made you think shit at me. Proper good shag, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, fantastic. Thank you. That's Adam. That's enough.
Sorry.
That's enough. That's enough. Right.
Wow, I didn't think it was going to go like this.
Chris Bradley just wants to send you a personal message. Would like to say I've not been to see Dave and Brendan since Mick's funeral. Would just like to say thank you for being a great friend. So that is Chris Bradley.
Well, Chrissy, mate, you cool?
Arsenal Gooner. I've always found you entertaining and good to watch. My question is, are you still close to the people you were close to 10 to 25 years ago?
Most of them I am. The ones that are still alive, the main players, the ones that are still alive, yeah, I am. But I'm afraid popularity and things change, so some of them have drifted off. Some of them I didn't mind they drifted off, but no, you don't keep as tight and in a circle as you mature as you used to have. You know what I mean? The friends you've actually got around you, they maybe get a little bit tighter. We all mellow in age, and a lot of people that were around me at the time weren't as friendly to me as maybe claimed. Yeah.
Okay, Gizzy, who gave you the hardest punch? If you've been punched by anybody.
I've been punched by a few people. God, well, I'd love to say that. I'd love to say to you, mate. I've always had the little bit of thing. I'd love to say that. I have been knocked out I have been knocked out before. I think I've been knocked out twice by a punch. Once in the boxing ring. I've got to say, Jennifer, my ex-wife. I don't know whether it's a compliment or what. I don't think it's the tastiest female I've ever had a smack in the mouth of. I mean, you don't actually remember a good smack in the mouth. You just wake up in a minute and go, oh wow, you know, you got. So I can't say the one that got me, but I have been caught by a few. If there was more people throwing shots at me now, not being as nimble as I was, you'd naturally catch me more.
I've got a question to follow on to that. If you had to take a punch from Roy Shaw or Lenny McLean, who would it be?
I'm afraid it'd have to be Roy Shaw.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm afraid it would have to be Roy Shaw because I have seen Lenny McLean fight. And in that environment, I'm not saying the best fighter in the world, you know, Bruce Lee ain't as good as Beto Duran, ain't as good as whoever, and yeah, different styles of fighting and all that. But in the knocking on your door as a threat to you because you have money, or having a roll about on the floor when the odds are against you in the doorway of a nightclub, that was the most prolific fighter I'd have seen. I'd actually ever seen. His level of pain was very high of what he could take.
Yeah, well, we all liked Roy Shaw. He was quite a man, wasn't he? Yeah.
What I'm saying is, Lenny McLean is the dig I wouldn't want to get.
No, he was something else.
I wouldn't want to get one off Roy Shaw. He'd most of him knock me out now if he farted, or he could come back and do it even though he's dead. Yeah. But if I had to sit there and go, right, yeah, I wouldn't like Lenny.
No, he was huge, wasn't he?
If I've been hit by Lenny. I've been knocked out by Lenny. Yeah, I'm involved in the boxing world. I'll give you a 17-second boxing story. Then McLean came in on a Sunday morning and said, anyone fancy sparring me, sparring partner ain't turned up. Yeah. I thought, oh wow, yeah, sparring with Lenny McLean. I went, I'll have a go. He went, yeah, I suppose you would if you could sit on someone's shoulders. I went, no, I'll have a go. So I'm in there thinking, right, I'm not trying to hit him, but if I get a chance to go bomb, just let him know I'm a bit, you know, I'm fine. I'm going to have a little boxing match with Lenny McLean. No one in the whole room is there looking at it as any importance. They're skipping, sitting there, burping. No one's looking at it with any importance other than me. Right? And he got in there with odd socks on and all that. I'll be honest, I had a kit and a half. I had a mental little kit. I looked like I was nuts. And I gets in the ring and he went ding, and he looked at me and he went, and my legs, I said to my own head went to my legs, run Dave, and both legs went, can't move. And I'm standing like this and he's just walking towards me really fast. And I went, fuck, my legs won't get out of the way, and I've done the right thing like that, put up. And he didn't try and go round it, nothing dodgy, stood in front of me and just went, bang! And that hand smashed that hand, and I smashed myself in the face. And I woke up with smell. I don't even remember smelling some salts. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
I woke up with all that happening, and I go, what the fuck is that? And then, funny enough, it was that morning I retired from the boxing circuit.
Was it?
It was that morning that I thought, I ain't doing this anymore. I think I'll play ball.
It's a good person to retire with, isn't it, really?
Well,
Yes.
I hope I hurt his hand.
Yeah.